Hello, this is Alyssa, and today I will be telling you about the Great Sphinx of Giza. So, the Great Sphinx of Giza is easily one of the most recognizable pieces of art from ancient Egypt, but also possibly one of the most recognizable sculptures in the world. This statue depicts the body of a lion and the head of a human king, and it is located on the Giza Plateau in Giza, right near the pyramids of Giza. The statue stands 66 feet or 20 meters high and 240 feet or 73 meters long, oriented on a west-east axis, and is made completely of limestone. There is pigment residue left on the Sphinx that suggests that the entire statue may have been painted at one time. The Sphinx was cut from one huge piece of limestone, not constructed of multiple pieces. The original limestone was part of the bedrock in the plateau that was uncovered during the construction of the Great Pyramids. It was said to have taken over 100 workers over the course of 3+ years to complete. They would have used tools like hammers and copper chisels to carve the shape. There is some debate on when the Sphinx was built. The most widely accepted date is that it was built during the reign of King Khafra, which was 2575 to 2465 BCE. The Sphinx's head is also said to depict the face of King Khafra. However, there is debate that the statue is actually depicted of and built by Khafra's older brother, Khufu. The face resembles him, even more so, some say, than Khafra, and Khufu was the one who built the pyramids. But since the statue has also been dated before when the pyramids were built, it is really hard to be sure who actually built the Sphinx and who it actually depicts. Unfortunately, there is no information on why the Sphinx was originally made during the period of the Old Kingdom. We can only infer. Even the name Sphinx wasn't given to the sculpture at the time of its creation. It came from the Greeks much later on. The most prominent theory about why it was created, in addition to obviously representing whichever pharaoh it was intended to depict, is that it had something to do with the stars, since they were a very important part of the religion of the Egyptians. The position of the pyramids, the Nile, and the Sphinx directly relate to the positions of Leo, Orion, and the Milky Way in the sky. Both of these constellations were very important in Egyptian culture. The position of the pyramids in relation to the Sphinx also corresponds to the constellation of Orion's belt, another prominent story and piece of the Egyptian culture. Maybe this statue was made to communicate with the gods or symbolize the pharaoh's connection to the gods and the sky. So the Sphinx now has definitely seen better days. There's a lot of erosion from wind and rain. There's damage to the nose, which is actually missing from when Napoleon's troops blew it off with a cannon. There have been multiple restorations to the body, headdress, and neck, which were worn away by erosion, and there's also been a lot of erosion at the base, which had to be replaced, in part, because it was made with a softer piece of limestone than the head. In conclusion, the Sphinx is one of the most grand pieces of sculpture in the world, and it is truly a magnificent part of Egyptian culture.